Wizard Bell here. Alright, here's a look at my talents, and notice my offhand here doesn't have any stats, but these are one-handed weapons, which give fewer stats than two-handed weapons. Also, I'm running Vision of Perfection for my main neck slot, as it gives the most sustain among all of the essences that I have. So here's an example in Nyalotha. You can see these other classes. Some of them, warlocks, usually very bursty. Look at the hunter, it's flying up there with his burst. But the nice thing about one-handed Fury, even two-handed Fury, but Fury warriors in general right now just feel very nice with the sustain that they have. I mean, even at the end of the fight, I started to lead there, and then here comes this single target mini-boss, and my lead just kind of grows. You're not doing 5,000 DPS single target. Some classes right now can, with full 133 item level gear set. I'm only at 126, so it's up there, but it still could be improved by a decent amount. So the DPS is good. You just kind of maintain your normal Fury Warrior rotation when you're doing one-handed dual wield. Nothing special changes with your spec. I just wanted to kind of show here for these few pulls that each pull, like you should expect running this spec, or just being Fury in general, running one-handed weapons, you should kind of expect that this is the DPS you should also be seeing at this gear level, even down to the 120, 115 gear item level range. You can still expect to see 3 to 5,000 DPS on trash or Mythic Plus trash. Bosses you're not going to get so high on bosses. And then we'll look at some boss DPS here in just a moment. But I mean, even here, there was a big spike damage from that hunter, the Death Knight, but you're starting to come through that wonderful sustainable DPS that warriors give. Also, I should mention that having Blood of the Enemy would probably give you a very high burst when it comes to AoE and single targets. I do not have Blood of the Enemy, so for those that do, give it a shot and comment below. Let me know how it turns out. So here on the Hive Mind, I did not get a lot of good procs starting out. Usually you get a lot of nice procs, you drink a potion, everything takes off, and look at the mage and the Death Knight here, taken right off down there. But this is just the beginning of the fight. There's a whole lot of mechanics to deal with yet, so we'll just kind of skip to the end of this fight. I just kind of keep doing what I'm doing as a warrior, nothing special. Just keep the whirlwind up and everything to make sure you cleave onto trash, stay under the bosses, and here at the end, you just end up in first place. Not saying everybody will. You get into a good guild and you might not. Might be further down the list, but in Pugs, you can expect to kind of see things like this. This is a Mott here. You see this is just Mott, no trash damage. All my damage is on Mott. 2,300 DPS. That's not bad. Now, it's not amazing. Being in a high-end guild, you're probably not going to be first place at 2,300 DPS, but when it comes to Pugs, hey, this keeps you in the race. So now let's look at what kind of the rotation should feel like with that spec. This is running the one-handers right now, and in a moment I'll show you what the two-handers look like. Everything's the same, but you can just kind of see how much clunkier the two-handers kind of feel in comparison to how this looks. So it's just simple. Just stay on your main target. Make sure you count your whirlwind. 4, 3, 2, 1. Every time you use an ability, just count down whirlwind. So like in this case, whirlwind. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whirlwind. And it's real nice. Those who take Dragon's Roar is okay. It gives you some burst, but it does not give you a nice sustain. So I've found so far that this build is really the best sustain, keeping you at 3 to 5,000 DPS on almost all Mythic Plus trash. And on bosses, you can range from, 1.5 to 3,000 or more. It really depends on the encounter. Now let's look at two-handed. And these weapons, you see, are 125, so they're much better than my one-handers. They're 10 item levels, both higher than my one-handers. And one also has a socket with plus 12 strength, so a significant amount of stats more than my one-handers are giving me right now that everything's been kind of toned down. So that's a few percent in my minor stats that these two-handers are giving me. So they kind of spike up here, 4,000. But it just gets to slow down and the damage quickly falls off, and it just doesn't quite feel the same. So I encourage you to try out some one-handed dual wield Fury Warrior action and let me know how it goes in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone.